Welcome to my show. It's a guest here. Her name is Robyn Accetturo. Mrs. Robyn, how are you doing, ma?
Well, thank you. And you?
I'm fine. Thank you very much, Robyn. And also thank you for the time and the opportunity, Mrs. Robyn. Firstly, you are an author. You are also a licensed clinical social worker, and you're also an ordained minister. Can you please, Robyn, discuss more about yourself and how you are doing currently now, Mrs. Robyn?
Sure. Thank you for asking. I graduated with my master's in social work in 1989 and became a licensed clinical social worker in 1991 in Chicago. I've been a practicing clinician ever since. And during grad school, I started to have prophetic dreams that scared the daylights out of me, which led my husband, who's also was also a social worker, he's now deceased, on a very amazing spiritual journey that was completely life-changing for both of us. So I became an ordained minister in 2008 after studying metaphysics for many, many years in order to find answers to my prophetic dreams because the prophetic dreams kept happening and it was quite scary for me. I wanted God to pick somebody else. So here we are.
100% agree. It's definitely not easy. When someone is just having this flashback, dreams and dreams that is more of scary, it's something that someone has to be 100% concerned about. And I'm also glad that you have a very profound journey and to the point where you were ordained a minister in 2008, which is very beautiful. And that is where I do know that you've written a book earlier, during your earlier times when you in your career, but you've also written a book now, the I Am the Reluctant Messiah. Can you please, Mrs. Robyn, discuss more on the book? And do you also have more books you are planning to write in the coming future, Mrs. Robyn?
Wow, good question. Thanks. Yes, I feel like there's more in incubation. Probably a workshop or a workbook to go with this, my second book. My second book is pretty amazing. Kind of reads like a fantasy, but it's my life. I'm very humble and I'm being incredibly vulnerable in sharing the stories and my life in my second book, I Am the Reluctant Messiah, and So Are You. Spirit gave me the title when my children were little, probably over 25 years ago, and they told me I would know when to write it, to tuck away the title. So I did. And how it came about to me writing is my husband passed away in 2019, and I unfortunately fractured six vertebrae trying to help him. So I had to move to Pittsburgh with my daughter. And while she was cleaning out our things to move me to Pittsburgh, she found a paper that I wrote back in 1990 called The Coming of New Humanity. And I've been using that theory, I would call it, that I wrote in 1990 since I graduated, actually, probably since I went into therapy myself in 1983, I think it was. I had just learned so much, and spirit started to connect to me. And what this theory is it shows us a way to reframe how we look at ourselves as a spirit operating our human body, similar to how a four-stroke cycle combustion engine operates a car. We're not our thoughts. We're the observer inside here that knows we have thoughts, knows we have feelings. And so many of us, unfortunately, listen to our thoughts and think that's who we are. And that's really where many of us get hung up, and our thoughts, in my experience, kind of turns into a mental health issue for us. So I'm hoping to teach people how to undo the damage of their stinking thinking so they can reverse kind of the trauma built up in their heart so that they can be open to serve God. Basically, in a nutshell.
True, true, 100% true. Because, our thought is going to be there. There's no day, there is no time. We will continue to have more thoughts. And I'm also glad that you had you had this energy right from the beginning that you are going to 100% write a book. And having that inspiration, but you do not just know the time. And the time actually came in and you brought it out, which is very, very beautiful on its own way. And I'm so glad because I also know from the bottom of the way I've related to you, one of the person who is really humble and who also wants to, give more and also do well to improve people's life in the more positive way. Because thought is very powerful. There are some thoughts that are not meant to be brought on, but sometimes we have that thought and how we are going to respond to it. That's what really matters. And that is why I also like to dive to a time that we are today. During the time that you said, I know you said the 1980s, 1990s, there is something that people are more connected. People are still having time to show the sense of kindness, love. People are coming together. But due to the sense of the technology, development of this technology, phones and laptop that we have today, there's a huge disconnection, and people are not really, good with conversing with people and also having communication with people. So that was why I like to dive for people or listeners that are feeling disconnected for themselves or for others. What do you think, in your own understanding, Christ consciousness mean in practical terms? And how do you think they can also begin to experience it in their daily life, Mrs. Robyn?
Great question. Thanks. Well, first of all, I know some people, when they hear Christ, they have a reaction, and it might not be positive. Uh, I think over the years, centuries, eons, religion unfortunately has changed some of quite a bit of the truths.
Yeah.
And Christ was the last master teacher to walk the earth. There were plenty before him. Zoroaster, I could name plenty. Confucius, Buddha, Jainism, Zoroaster. There's so many master teachers that have walked the earth. It's just that Jesus was the last one here. And he was an incredible medium. He was able to he was in human form, so he was us, right? But he was able to empty his, I would call his lower self, his ego, his humanness, and kind of, I'm not sure how he did it 100% of the time. And I know sometimes he probably failed and he had to go in a cave for 40 days to chill and get rid of all the junk around him. But truly, you have to be able to raise your consciousness high enough of a vibration. And the Christ consciousness, whether you want to call it Christ, I do, because he's the last master teacher and he was a medium and he was a healer. And he asks us to do as he did, not worship him, not follow him. Do it. Do it, and I'll do it with you. I will help you. Well, that's pretty much what I have spent my life doing. So, how we do that is, think about it: anger, anxiety,
Mm.
depression. Those are all low vibing feelings. They're not bad at all. They're needed. They're needed as a protection at the time we were hurt or whatever happened. But the truth is, we weren't allowed, whatever age, or we didn't feel safe enough to express those feelings. So what we do is we swallow them. Time after time, they piggyback on each other till we're numb. We can't take in anymore. And the true answer is we just have to feel it to heal it. And what my book does is it gives the readers very simple tools that I needed to learn myself. I teach what I know, I walk my talk. And really, it's about becoming unconditional love without judgment. And when you can do that and heal your own heart and come to kind of a self mastery over your thoughts, your mind. Our mind has language, our mind controls our output,
Yeah.
and that's where a lot of our trouble comes. So even if we can't output or express our truth to the person that, say, did something that we felt hurt about, it's important for us to express that anyway. Then
Yes.
write them a letter and burn it.
Yes.
Go beat on a pillow, go get a Nerf pad and beat the crap out of your couch. Do something to release that energy. Anger's an energy. It's real. It's passionate. It came there for a reason. Anger's our universal response that says, don't hurt me. It's normal. Anger's okay. Anger's a good thing, but how we handle it is where we mess it up. We store it up and store it up, and then we get so filled with rage you see what's happening in our world. So
Yes.
truly, I would say by reframing how we see ourselves, we're not just human beings. We're not just here one time, and this is all we get, and this sucks, and our parents suck, and life sucks, and so on. What if you reframe it and think, I'm so powerful. God, I'm a fraction of God walking around as me. Wow, that's amazing. So, what can I do to raise my vibration to get more of this? I can pray, I can meditate, I can learn metaphysical tools, I can learn natural laws, I can study. I can learn to communicate properly so that my feelings don't keep getting trampled on and I keep saying yes when I want to say no. There's so many things we can do that lead to our own self mastery of trauma and feelings stored in our heart that we couldn't help. They got there because they were protecting us. They're really wonderful as much as we may dislike them. And now that we're older, we can go back, and my book helps us to go back with or without a therapist and really kind of look in your heart, see what's holding you up. And
Yes.
that's how I did it. And that's how I've taught others to do it for 35 years. It's pretty profound.
Yes, the mind is powerful. The source is the mind because it is what installs and what comes to our mind is what we come out. And that is why the 101 thing that we have to, work on is that mind. And the only way we can work on it is to work on it spiritually, how we can look for something we can connect to. And I'm so, glad that, there are a lot of teachers because I know that I'm aware that there are a lot of teachers during those historic time, which we know that Jesus too was also one of them who also, but it's just that some of them just do what is 100% different. I think he just brought something different. He did it in a different way, which actually made it more profound. He's also a healer. And that is what we have to know that we humans, we have the physical part, but we also have something that is inside us that we have to know how to express. Because whether it's anger, whether it's love, whether it's attention, we have to know how to bring it out because the mind is something that could get to a point whereby we might be controlled by it. So we have to understand that. So I also appreciate you for that insight. And also, you also spoke about the five spiritual senses, Mrs. Robin. How do you think someone can also start to awaken this type of senses? And what do you think are the different might that they might notice in how they experience life, Mrs. Robin?
Oh, you ask great questions. Thank you. That's awesome. Well, what blows my mind is no one taught us this. And when I first learned it and first experienced it and trying to get answers for my prophetic dreams, I was like, are you kidding me? I've been doing that my whole life, but I didn't know that's what it was. So, for example, we have five physical senses, right? Sight, sound, taste, touch, smell. Same thing for spiritual senses. And we use them all day long from the time we're born till we die. But once we know that that's what we're using, wow, we can claim it, we can work with spirit, and our senses change our life and our world. And basically, so clairvoyance is seeing with our spiritual eyes. You Some people like that movie, I See Dead People. Some people see spirit outside themselves. Most of us see it inside when we're in meditation or we're starting to fall asleep. We might see colors swirling, we might see energy, we might see geometric patterns. We might see a face, a shadow come in. We might see our loved one in spirit kind of come on top of us as we're falling asleep, like, what? That's clairvoyance, clear seeing when our mind is relaxed and we're in a receptive state. We're not angry. We're not holding on to feelings. We're not stuck in our mind. We're more in our heart.
Yeah.
Okay. Clairaudience, we're all clairaudient. You're driving the car. All of a sudden, the thought comes to you. It's your thought. You didn't think it. Don't turn left. You're like, wait a minute, who said that? Most of us say it's our gut. No, really, we heard the thought, right? In our head through our own voice. Spirit talks to us like that a lot. Those are the real thoughts. Those are pure. Those are warnings. Those are information and loving. It's our thoughts that say you're a piece of crap. Why'd you do that? It's your fault. That's our thoughts. We don't want to listen to those. Those are our stinking thinking,
Yeah.
which is literally a term coined by Albert Ellis from rational emotive behavior therapy, that are thoughts we think that don't serve our highest good. Well, for most people, that's most of their thoughts, and they listen to them all day long, thinking that's them. The next one, clairsentience, is what we call our intuition. Clairsentience is from our solar plexus, from below, like our breastbone, to our belly button. And that's our emotional center. And spirit, people will say, oh, my gut said this. Oh, I didn't listen to my gut. I want to kick myself. Well, that's when spirit presses so close to you, literally, they impress upon you, kind of whoo, right through your stomach, your solar plexus chakra, to receive the information. It is your intuition, but it's more than that. It's spirit talking to your intuition, impressing the knowledge to you, and you're receiving it. And then there's a couple other ones. Clear, they used to call it clear olfactory, now they call it clear aliens, I think. And that's smelling. Oh my gosh, first time it happened to me, I was like, what? Walked into a room, I smelled a cigar. It was a non-smoking room. There was no cigar. I asked my husband, do you smell it? He's like, no. I'm like, oh my God, it's so strong. It was my dad. Every Sunday, my dad smoked a cigar. For
Mm.
my husband, it's the smell of coffee. When he would walk in a room, he used to make coffee for his dad when he was like 10. So his dad. So the last one is clear gustance, which is tasting something that's not in your mouth. Honestly, I had never experienced that, but I'll laugh because when I was writing my book, after I wrote that section, I was like, all right, Spirit, I don't know that one. The next day, they let me experience it and put a taste in my mouth, and I had no food in my mouth.
Mm.
So it's really important. We think we're just human. We're 95% of life is in the unseen world. We got to raise our vibe to connect to it. That's really what it is. And when we do, we have those senses, and the more we can name them and claim them, they grow. And it's amazing. So that's part of the input in the four-stroke cycle engine that communicates to our spirit. The first one is the input cycle. So we're a spirit observing out of our eyes. We're the spirit that has the thoughts in the mind, but we're not the thoughts in the mind. We know that's a part of us to tell us what's happening, because our spirit's just spirit. It doesn't have eyes. It's alive, it's universal, it's eternal.
Exactly.
So it needs these things to input what's happening out there so we can protect ourselves, open up. It's our gauge, kind of a barometer.
Majority of the activities or majority of the decisions we are making in life, we have to try our best to make sure that it is connected with the universe, with the spiritual aspect of it, because that is the main source. We are just, the body is just like what is covering it. And if we can know how to do that well, I think we'll be in a position whereby a lot of things we are doing, we'll do it in the right way, and we won't get into a position whereby we are working on our thought, and our thought, because thought is just thought. I've had thought, and thought is just thought. Because even from my experience, I do know that thought is just thought. It is not something that
Yep.
will definitely even help in any way. And that is what we have to know. We have to know how we could go more spiritually connected. And if we can do that well, then we grow it and make it more stronger. So no matter what comes to the mind, we should know how to bring it out and know how to open up. Because that's just one of the secrets. If we can open up with some kind of situation, whether it's anger or anything, I think we'll be in a position whereby we'll feel relief, feel more peaceful, and I think a lot of things will come our way in the right way. And also, I also like to dive to the point of ego, because with people who are in a position now, because in the position where we have the digital world, the phone and everything, a lot of people just having this kind of flashy lifestyle and stuff like that. We've gotten to a point whereby people are more of in a position whereby ego is now have not increased dramatically. So how do you think someone can tell if they are living more from ego versus if they are living a vessel of higher consciousness, Mrs. Robin?
Well, to me, it's a pretty broad answer, but first thing is, you can feel it. If you're So ego is kind of our protector in some ways. It helped us get through a lot. It helped us discern, right from wrong, all that kind of stuff. But then our ego has a need to be right, or our ego has a need to good, bad, right, wrong, all the extremes. And our ego tends to want to be in control because of fear. When we come from love and unconditional love and non-judgment, even just saying those words, you feel differently. I personally, I feel it in my heart. When I think of right, wrong, I go straight to my head. And I do my best to operate from my heart all the time. I do a prayer of protection every morning because not everybody comes from their heart and not
Mm,
everybody is aware of their own energy and their own boundaries and how they, give off energy. And we, as empaths, and most of us are, can feel it. And so the ego has a need to stay human, in control. It tends to create drama because it wants to stay in control and protect us. But the truth is, God is our protector. The universe is our protector. We have angels, we have spirit guides. We need to go higher. We need to tell our ego it's okay. I love you. We can do this together. Let's try to open up a little bit and accept that we're not in control. Maybe there's something bigger in control. Maybe there's something more powerful that we have a purpose for here. So to me, vibrating higher, setting your intention. And the other thing too is that um, thoughts really do become things.
mm,
Think about it. If you're always in, and I'm not saying you in particular, but just in general, someone is always coming from hurt and anger, and the universe, we're like magnets for our thoughts. What we put out comes right back to us. So if we're constantly thinking, I'm so afraid people always treating me like that, we're perpetuating that in our life by carrying it with us every day onto our blank new page of life. And the universe responds because the universe loves us and it wants to give us what the signal we're sending out. So
mm,
if we're sending out anger, rage, fear, guess what? Every day the universe is going to give you exactly what you're looking for. Send out love, send out non judgment, breathe love, and to set your intention,
mm,
raise your vibration. It's amazing what we can accomplish from a higher vibration. It's magical. Ask for a parking space.
mm,
When you're going, from the suburbs downtown Chicago and the parking is horrible, it's $50 to park in a lot. Always. Universe, please, please, may I please have a parking space? Thank you. And always give thanks. And every time, it's amazing. The universe reflects our vibration and what we put out. So you want to put out highest, best love and be that, become that
mm.
through healing your heart of trauma. And my book kind of gives a little template to show you how to do it. It's not it's difficult. It takes a lot of work, but you know what? Self-mastery, we're worth it. Life changes. It's a beautiful thing. And we each can do it. We each can become healers. We all have gifts. Prophecy, healing, automatic writing, inspirational speaking. It's flow. When you're an artist, you can tell when a singer, you can tell when you're in flow and it's coming through you versus your ego's there trying to control
Yeah.
it. When the flow, you're like, wow, who wrote that? You're like, that's so cool. And then, yeah. So I hope that helps.
It's, let's see, it's definitely helps Mrs. Robin, and that's also make us understand that you know we have the authority sometimes. Sometimes we're in a position whereby we want to defend ourselves, want to protect ourselves, want to try our best to make sure that our decision are the right one, stuff like that. But there is something we need to understand as human that there's something above. There's something more very powerful that we do not normally see, we do not normally touch, we do not normally, even sometimes we don't even have encounter with it. And that is where the grace and everything comes from. That is where everything from above just comes from. And we have to know how to connect and know how we could, create a sense of strength through it, if we can walk through that sense. And I love what you said earlier. What we give out is what we 100% receive. If we give out anger, arrogance, I think that is what we receive. Because when someone knows this person has anger issue, have arrogance issue, he will never approach that person with a person who shows love and care. To be different, because they're not, this person is someone like this. So that shows that what we give out is what we always receive. And there are some things that we can't do ourselves. And we have to agree with that. We can't do it ourselves. And we have to know something that we can work on, that is spiritually what we connect to, how we can work with the universe, and most especially we need to know how to appreciate it, because it is not easy to. They also want us to be happy. We are on this life for some time, we will live one day, and they want us to also live a life whereby we are joyful and we are also calm, no matter the position we find ourselves. So I really, really glad that you brought this up, and it is a very, very profound and beautiful insight. I would like to go back to your book, Mrs. Robin. I am the resolution Messiah. If there is one thing, or if the listeners can just take one thing from your book, what do you think it will be, Mrs. Robin?
We all are here to uncover the real us.
Yeah.
And the real us is a spirit operating in this body who came here for a purpose. And our purpose is in there. And by uncovering the layers of hurt and loss and anger and all the trauma in our hearts, and allowing that to be free, then there's the law of a vacuum. Nature doesn't like a vacuum. So then we can ask Spirit and God to fill our heart with unconditional love and not judgment. And my book shows us how to uncover our soul here and now. And it's pretty profound and yet simple, because we're already doing it.
Yes.
We just are stuck in our thoughts and our stinking thinking, and we believe that that's who we are, and that's baloney. We're not our stinking thinking. We're so much more. Our heart holds the key, and our feelings. It's huge. And I hope my book helps everybody to kind of take that inward journey to self mastery so that we can change this whole
Mhm.
world, because it starts with our hearts.
I completely agree. It starts with our hearts, and that is why we have to know this. We have to be in our true self. We have to stay true to ourselves, and we have to just be ourselves, no matter what we are doing on earth. Just let us be ourselves, and if we are ourselves, I think all these things will be very easy for us to get, because it's when we are ourselves and we do not manipulate things everywhere. That is where we see these things coming in, and that is the issue in our world today. People want you to just manipulate, and it is not the case. When I love what you said, because we are like something that comes from above. Because with the development is what I've learned from everything, and realized that I think something from above just came, and what is just it just wants to do something. It wants to just like pass a message or just do something on it that he or she has been sent to do. And if we are trying our best to just do everything, manipulate, it will not be easy and will not get to the point. And that is why we could get to a position whereby we fall sick. Sometimes we even leave the world early. Things like that happens. And that is what we also need to understand as humans. So we could try our best to be ourselves and see how things grow and be happy. Because this life is very short. We need to be happy and show love and care to one another. There is a question I normally ask during the end of the show, Mrs. Robin, from our forefathers,
Uh-oh.
from our
Okay.
ancestors. There are a lot of things that do exist during our forefathers' time, during our ancestral time, that is missing in our time today. If there is anyone or anything you would like to bring back to our time today, Mrs. Robin, what do you think that thing will be, Robin?
Connection through great communication and opening our hearts to unconditional love. We're so disconnected. People have their phones in their face. Little kids have their phones. Put the dang phones down. There's so much we can do together, but you can't on a screen. Sorry, no offense, but life's real. Life's meant to be hurtful. Life's meant to be beautiful and ugly and harsh and
Yeah.
wonderful all at the same time. And if your face is in front of a screen, you're not going to experience the real thing, and you're going to miss out. And then you're going to find yourself going, wow, what I do with my life?
Mm.
There's so much we can do.
Yes.
Discovering ourselves is a huge journey, a huge project, but we're so worth it. And I want to just add, where our attention goes, our energy flows. That's a huge one. So if your attention is always trying to keep your feelings down, I don't want to feel that. Oh no, that's too hurtful. That's too painful. And then keep piggybacking every experience and we never express our truth. Gets pretty clogged up. What happens to a car when you don't allow the exhaust to come out the muffler? It's gonna die. So are we. We got to open our mouths. We got to open our hearts. We got to understand ourselves better. And it's possible. I had a suicidal gentleman on the psych unit where I was teaching these tools first out of grad school. And when I taught this concept, he was so blown away. He had tried to commit suicide. He had a gash in his wrist. He shared that that night at 3 in the morning, his stinking thinking, he thought it was him, was telling him, "You're a piece of go yourself." And he listened, but he lived. And now, through what I shared with him, he was able to shift his perspective and reframe. That's not me. I'm not those thoughts. I don't have to listen. I'm more than that. I'm this beautiful being inside. I have a lot of power and I can do this. And I don't know that he was ever hospitalized again. So it's powerful to shift how we think about ourselves to be who we truly are, which is a spirit operating this beautiful body. And no matter what happened to us, I've been through a lot in my life.
Yeah.
Domestic violence, all kinds of stuff. They're all tools to kick us in the butt to get us to get in touch with our heart and our soul. And we can do this. We can do this.
Yes, we can do it. We can 100% do it. It starts from us, and as you said, it starts from our heart, and we could
Right?
continue to do it. I think it's going to make the world a better place. Connection is something that we do need. We do know that technology has a lot of beauty in it, but we should not let it to take over how humanity is. We humans have a lot to do together. We have a lot to explore and even learn from each other, and we shouldn't use what we have to just make that thing or overestimate it regarding that. We have to try our best to build some sense of unity, community, and love and care within each other, so that the world and also what we've built, because this thing is what we humans built, will last. Because if we do not do it that way, it might have issues when the time come. These things are just growing this time, and we don't know what will happen in the next 20, 30, 40. We don't know artificial intelligence is now on board, so we do not know what will happen, and we have to try our best to make sure that community, we humans, we must respect and know the value of what we have and who we are as genuine, one-on-one conversation. I think if we can do that with what we have, I think things will be better. But we should not forget how we humanity are. It's very, very important. Community and showing kindness and love with one another is one of the things that will help us grow. I also want to thank you for the time and the opportunity you've given to me, and also to speak on this very, very important topic. It's mean a lot, and I also, from the bottom of my heart, want to thank you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Robyn.
Thank you so much, too. I appreciate you taking the time to get to know me. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
God bless you too, Mrs. Robyn. Have a wonderful day, Mrs. Robyn. Bye bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye bye.